So what we're gonna talk. Oh, so now we're going to talk briefly about Celeste Rivas. I'll put her picture up. Oh, hang on. This is another mysterious case. Of course, they're all mysterious. That's why we end up talking about them. Because if they were straightforward, we probably wouldn't talk about them. But Celeste, this girl, she was 14 years old when she was last seen alive. She was then, or even maybe 13. I mean, it's not clear. The timeline isn't clear in this case. And Celeste was she's been described as a troubled teen. She ran away from home a few times, and she was in a relationship with a guy called David, but not normal David, like D4VD David, because he was an aspiring singer, songwriter, very strange guy, basically. His songs, there's a lot of, he seems to be obsessed with macabre things. Just let's actually have a look at David. So I haven't got a picture of him up. I don't like showing a picture of him really, but we need to see one, I suppose, just so we understand who we're talking about. And David is, I think, early 20s, so he's a man, but he was allegedly, now this is an ongoing case, so we can only talk allegedly, supposedly, having a relationship with Celeste, despite the fact she was only 13 years old. I think that's more or less established. She was on his, because he was big on TikTok and all the social media, etc. He was just becoming really famous. He'd sort of started off slow burn, and then he was taking off. He had a European tour planned, an American tour, European tour. This was in Hollywood. He lived. He was becoming really, really famous, and then suddenly his Tesla that had been towed away, where it had been illegally parked. His Tesla car was in what would you call it? Was in a yard, where they take cars to when they get towed away because they're parked illegally. And the staff there noticed a smell coming from the car and called the police. The police opened up the car, and there was the very sadly deceased and dismembered, allegedly, but that's not been, confirmed yet, body. But it has been confirmed there is Celeste, this young girl. And she was in the front, what they call the front bonnet of the car, in a plastic bag, and that this was quite a long time ago now, that Celeste was actually found, but again, no arrest has been made. The police have named David as a suspect, but he has not been arrested. So it's still in the very early days of the investigation, etc. So, as a couple of weeks ago, I said I wasn't going to do any more videos about this case because it was all too woolly and a lot of alleged things. There was rumours that Celeste had been frozen before she was put in the frunk, but then the police came out and said no, there was no justification for that. That was just a rumour. So it was all a bit like that. So the reason I'm coming on to talk to you about it now is because allegedly, again, we have to remember that these things are allegedly, that a burn cage was found in David's home. When the police went and searched David's home, they found an incinerator. Now, whether this is true or not, but apparently you can burn bodies in it. Now, he hadn't burnt Celeste in it because Celeste's body was in the car. But was that the plan? you know, just makes you wonder. Hi, Finola. Oh my God, yeah, good job. Oh, so Finola's daughter wanted to see him play in Dublin. Yeah, he was coming to Spain as well. He had a big tour. He was in the middle of a massive tour, wasn't he? And then, of course, he had to cancel everything because of the finding. I mean, at the end of the day, if someone, you know, a deceased person gets found in your car, I can't believe he hasn't been arrested yet. I honestly, now I know they've got to establish that he put Celeste in that car, or either on his own or with somebody else. But you know, these Teslas, they have so many cameras, and you know, there's so much data. Maybe they're trying to get all the data. Maybe it's not as easy as just, you know, getting the data. You know, there'll be records of when the trunk was opened, when it was closed, surely. You know, I mean, just because he's not been arrested does not mean that the investigation is not, you know, continuing. Of course it is. And, you know, it'll happen when it happens, I suppose. And the law enforcement have said he is a suspect. But why would you have an incinerator in your home? I mean, really? You know, I know, you know, did David have money to burn? I mean, you just think, you know, when you make it big and you've got all this money at your disposal and everything, would you want to buy this? Would this be on your list of something to buy when you make it big? Anyway, we're going to Banfield. I think this is a video from Ashley again.
Also have an update tonight on the case of the singer David and the runaway teen girlfriend who was found dead in the trunk of his Tesla. For weeks, we've been wondering just what it was that a private investigator named Steve Fisher found inside David's home when he was given access last October. The PI reported seeing, quote, items you would expect to find on a farm rather than in a home in the Hollywood Hills. And today, we are learning about one of those items. Steve Fisher has confirmed it was something called a burn cage. Take a look at your screen. That's what a burn cage looks like. It's used usually on farms to incinerate waste.
You know, I'm absolutely speechless. Was that the plan? You know, because I'm not sure. Originally, I was thinking, well, did he park the car there so it would get towed away and get flattened, you know, like cars do? Was that his plan, to get rid of this body? But now looking at this, you think, well, was he planning on going out somewhere in the country with this? Is it the sort of thing that you can transport? You couldn't use that in the house, could you? How could you use that in the house? You know, so this is, honestly, this case is, you know, all the cases that we cover are batshit in some way or another, but this is just, you know, literally, it makes me speechless.
And debris, but lots of private homes have them as well.
Oh, private homes.
This particular model can apparently get up to a whopping 1,600 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 200 degrees hotter than the temperature required to burn human bones. And this is the photograph Steve took of that burn device, the burn cage inside David's home. He noted that these types of incinerators are...
Now, was the actual burn cage inside the box, or was it an empty box? Don't know.
Illegal in LA County, and that even if it were a prop, say used for a music video, still doesn't seem to be much of a reason for it to be delivered to his home. Still no word on it.
Well, there's always that possibility, because he made these very strange videos, didn't he, where he's covered in blood and God knows what. So there's a possibility it could be for a prop.
An arrest in this case, but with evidence like this, might only be a matter of time.
Let's just watch that again. We'll watch it one more time. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you about it. It's still very
And I also have an update tonight on the case of the singer David and the runaway teen girlfriend who was found dead in the trunk of his Tesla. For weeks, we've been wondering just what it was that a private investigator named Steve Fisher found inside David's home when he was given access last October. The PI reported seeing, quote, items you would expect to find on a farm rather than in a home in the Hollywood Hills. And today, we are learning about one of those items. Steve Fisher has confirmed it was something called a burn cage. Take a look at your screen. That's what a burn cage looks like. It's used usually on farms to incinerate waste and debris, but lots of private homes have them as well. This particular model can apparently get up to a whopping 1,600 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 200 degrees hotter than the temperature required to burn human bones. And this is the photograph Steve took of that burn device, the burn cage inside David's home. He noted that these types of incinerators are illegal in LA County, and that even if it were a prop, say used for a music video, still doesn't seem to be much of a reason for it to be delivered to his home. Still no word on an arrest in this case, but with evidence like this, might only be a matter of time.
Well, hopefully it is just a matter of time. And this poor girl, she's another one. You know, there you go. No justice. I think it was September, wasn't it? She was found. I don't think she was Finola. I think, according to the autopsy, she was not pregnant, because that was speculation. That was speculation in the beginning, wasn't it? That it might be because she was pregnant. Then there was speculation that she might have had a drug overdose. And then, you know, so it would only be a case of tampering with the body, not actual homicide. But the police have said now it is a homicide. They haven't released a cause of death. They're still waiting for toxicology. And they have not arrested David, but they have said that they have named him as a suspect. So, yeah. Poor Celeste. I mean, the thing is, what we do know for sure is this poor 13 or 14-year-old girl, however old she was when she actually died, is dead. And she was found in this car. So sooner or later, please God, somebody is going to be found. You know, the police are probably just crossing, dotting their I's and crossing their T's. They've got to get it right. This is what we talked about in the Rob Rayner and his wife Michelle case. The police, they have to do things right, because they're always going to be thinking about the court case further down the line. They don't want to do things wrong. You know, they don't want to do things wrong. They want to do things right, because they don't want, when it comes to a trial, some clever defense lawyer bringing up something that they did wrong and it ends up in a mistrial or whatever. So, yeah, they're taking their time. So we don't know where David is at the moment. You know, where is he? No idea. So anyway. So just wanted to tell you about